Carlos.
Yeah, you too. Mr. Khan?
Yeah.
It's not related to SARS.
It
What I'm
is
saying
related
it has
to SARS,
be
you
related
idiot.
to this audit. That's what's on the agenda, not SARS in general. This is not an agenda.
It's shining a light on the problems of the audit. What, they just gotta, you're kidding. Did you get that? You got him?
You're going back, you're going through other audits. All I'm saying is, it's beyond the scope. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
It's all related.
What I'm saying is, I'm you need to be careful about the scope of your discussion. And I realize that you skipped over some of the things, and I appreciate that. But the scope of this discussion has to do with this audit. And those things discussed.
You gotta watch what you're talking about.
Order, please.
It wasn't about order. Now you're saying it wasn't about this specific audit.
We can't get order in here, and I'm gonna shut this conversation down. So please, let's have order.
Tell Carlos to shut up.
Your report
Reset the clock and
incorporates the
let him go.
data and the sources
Shut up,
for
Carlos.
the audit. It would be appropriate. I'm just cautioning you. That's all I attempted to do before you became.
I have a suggestion.
Before you told me to shut up.
Let's hear what you.
I have a suggestion.
I do
This
too,
was
Carlos,
suggested
just
earlier
shut up.
that if you finish, continue with your report now, and then President Johnson proposed that in the future, it's agendized to have a general SARS report. And I would also add that that would be a helpful agenda item, and if we had other stakeholders, like Peter Beavering from ACLU or something like that, you know. Discussion around that. But anyway, so that's my suggestion.
So, community relations.
And so I'll move on to that. I just wanted to show you as the audits, because this is relevant. This is the 2015 audit. This is the previous audit. So it's building towards this current audit, as it was stated. So you have 33 individuals identified as black out of 109, so that's 30% of the individuals. And look at the gender count in orange. You have 12 women, 6 of them are black. So this is the information that is going into the fusion centers, into where the counterterrorism funds are held. Now let's go to this audit. This is what you wanted to do. Let me just go back to it.
That's crazy.
So what's really interesting is that the Inspector General says that it is 100% compliance. What does it mean by it's 100% compliance? So in essence, what this audit is, that it's not an audit, it's a report. It's a report of the administrative process, whether something is being filed or not, which again, there have been violations in there as well. But the fundamental essence of the program is missing. It is completely missing. Because if you have a program out of which 56% are unfounded, something is fundamentally wrong with this thing. And it's not only by the people. 38% of the SARs that were filed by officers were unfounded as well. That is the figure that nobody asked. This is all in this audit. That even the officers that filed those SARs, 38% are unfounded. And the total SARs, 136 are unfounded, 107 are sent to the Joint Review Intelligence Center, right? Out of those 156 SARs where you say involved persons are there, again, when you look at the sample, 79% people are non-violent. A very large sample of Middle Easterns, which is 63 Middle Easterns, 24%. So what we are doing here is that, again, we have created an environment, we have created conditions to deem people suspicious, and this is what the audit is completely missing. That it's not looking at the deeper issues of what does it really mean, it's not looking at what reasonably indicative, observed behavior, how is it informing people, and why are people calling these SARs, which then end up being done unfounded. When you look at these things, this is what is going on. Then you look at 100% compliance, yet at the same time, Pat Johnson, you asked that the SARs were scanned into the ICAR system, ICAR system. Well, that was a violation. So why was the program in 100% compliance? How can they claim that it was in 100% compliance when there were violations taking place? So I think that's the question. How can you just rubber stamp something and just say that this is 100% compliance?
If we approve it, we're approving the findings, which included, by the way, you mentioned the number of officer generated that were not appropriate, which were identified, which I found concerning, which the IG's office found concerning, and there was a specific recommendation related to that regarding greater training for the officers, which was a recommendation that was agreed with by the department. So that will be addressed. It was I didn't raise it because it was addressed as an issue. There was a recommendation specifically related to it, and the department agreed with it.
The question here is, Mr. Johnson.
I'll give you a couple more minutes, but then
Sure.
there's public comment on this also.
The question here is that on one hand, you're talking about officer training. On the other hand, what is also happening is that the 2015 audit, last year's audit showed that 80% of these SARs came from community informers. This SAR shows 68% came from community informers as well. Who's going to train the people? Because the people are being told to call other people as suspicious and open and which leads to opening up of these files. So that's really a major issue over here. You can do all the training you want, but it continues to be. This program has been around for 9 years now. This is not a new program. It started in March of 2008. It's 8.5 years since this program has been going on, and yet you have 38% from officers that are unfounded. Yet you have 56% of the total SARs that are unfounded. Something is because what it comes down to is that this is fundamentally a flawed program. It triggers the bigotry. It triggers the
Right.
It triggers violence. And this is what it's going to. And I'm gonna stop here by saying, and just a few points that I want to make, that when he talked about that there is